Welcome back, viewers. Now, the focus is back on the top story. External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar has stated that no one has supported Pakistan's military regime and undermined its democratic processes as consistently as Western countries. In an interview with the Danish newspaper Politiken, Jaishankar has criticized the West for backing Pakistan when it was under military dictatorship. He also suggested that such support weakened the democratic institutions in the country. Whether it was Kennedy and Johnson who backed Ayub Khan, Ronald Reagan who shared a close personal rapport with Zia-ul Haq, or even George Washington Bush who more recently supported Musharraf after the 9/11, the West's history of cozying up to the military regimes in Pakistan is evident even in the past incidents. Lieutenant General Raj Kadian is joining me live on the broadcast. In fact, appreciate you joining me on the telecast, sir. Thank you very much for speaking to us. While the statement has come by Dr. Jaishankar criticizing the West for aiding and supporting the military aggression backed by the terrorist forces, by supporting, in fact, every incident where in the history it has been witnessed how the West is backing the military aggressions in Pakistan has only weakened the powers and the values of the democratic institutions. How do you view this situation in context with India's stand, particularly with the relations of West nations?
India has been a victim of terrorism, which originates in Pakistan. Having lost all the wars on the battlefield from 1989 onwards, they resorted to terrorism, which is a weapon of the coward. And India, in between, has been responding. We did a surgical strike, we did the Balakot strike. While most of the world understands and is worried about terrorism because they themselves have suffered. America has suffered, UK, France, Germany, but nobody has suffered as much as India. And no other country is supporting terrorism as much as Pakistan. This time, there was a barbaric attack on our civilians in Pahalgam, where 25 people were killed, innocent people, in cold blood. So India is a democracy. We have to respond. There was a great public outcry. We responded. Our response was only against terrorists and their bases. And we made it clear to Pakistan that we have no intention to escalate the matter and turn it into a major war. But while the world understands terrorism, after what India did, we did not get as much support as we should have, whereas Pakistan perhaps got more. They had open support from China, which of course is understandable. They were supported by Turkey. They were supported by Azerbaijan and some other countries, the lukewarm. India, I think, got support only from Afghanistan. That too will get diluted because 2 days ago, when the Taliban foreign minister visited Beijing, they promised that they will extend the CPEC to Afghanistan, which will buy their silence and their support. So India has now launched a diplomatic offensive to explain to the world India's right to defend itself and to respond to any future terror attacks, which are very much on the cards. The ceasefire may have come, but the tension and the fighting is still on in some ways. We have sent 59 members divided into 7 different delegates. These are members of parliament of different parties, and not that we treat them differently, but to convince the world, each party of those 7 members include the Muslim members, they include former ministers, and they will be assisted by the present diplomatic staff. Apart from a former diplomat will also be part of the delegation. So this is to convince the world that in case India suffers another terror attack, which obviously are supported by Pakistan, there is no other country doing it. India's right to respond in an appropriate manner should be supported by the world. So this is a very good initiative by Prime Minister Modi to convince the world to get the world opinion on India's side and our right to self-defense. But terrorism is also an attack. It's a war. India has clarified that any future terror attack will be treated as war, and we have a full right to defend ourselves as we do during war. So let us hope these delegations explain the point of view correctly and are able to succeed in converting world opinion in favor of India, which so far, although the world opinion favored anti-terrorism, but they were not really favored India. America's role has been ambivalent, although Trump cannot be trusted. Every day makes it different and quite often contradictory statements. But the impression has gone around that instead of it being a bilateral decision between Pakistan and India on the initiative of the former, America is claiming credit that they played a mediatory role. So that also will be demolished during these visits, and to tell the world, look, the problem between India and Pakistan, which has existed since 1947, in fact, is a bilateral problem. Although Pakistan has on multiple occasions tried to speak in the United Nations and draw other countries into the dispute. But this is a bilateral dispute, and India and Pakistan will mutually sort it out. There is no indication, as Americans have claimed, that we will meet them in a neutral territory. We are open. Pakistan is welcome to talk to them. But the only subject that is to be talked about is that 37% of Kashmir territory, which is under their illegal occupation. India has made its stand crystal clear, and we will stick to it. In case there is another unfortunate terror attack from Pakistan, which has been happening regularly, Pahalgam was, of course, the latest, then India has full right, and world should understand that we are exercising that right in self-defense. So that is the purpose of these diplomatic outreach. They have sent all over different continents, different countries. The composition is heterogeneous, as I mentioned. It includes members of different religions, the present members of parliament of different parties, with foreign previous ministers, diplomats, and other experts in the delegation who can explain
Thank you
India
very much for being with us on the broadcast and, in fact, sharing your take respectively.